All aboard, welcome aboard. This is Kelly Jack, and this is How Not to Game with me, Kelly Jack, the gaming persona or personality for Dyford Rex, or in front of Dyford Rex, or who is Dyford Rex? Who knows? Okay, it's time. It's time to take a look at one thing, and that is how we're doing on our shipping. And the ships are doing fair. They're not losing too much money now. I think they will make money long term. I think I might want to put one of them, probably the Orjack, where he's lost the most, back into the docks and maybe selling. Selling him would get us back 25 grand, 24,000, 24 grand. So yeah. But despite all that, despite it all, even though we're down on net wealth and on account balance, assets are up. We're only running on minus 6% for the year margin, so our profit margin's good. Op profit last year was still the upward trend we were looking for. So now it's time to add a few more things and see what else we can get going to keep things going. I do think that having seen just how many people we got moving into and out of our station, 64 of them, 40 so far this month, does mean that, the year we may not know right away how the shipping is going to affect us on the canal. Looking at our monthly costs, our maintenance cost per month, it did ding us pretty good last month. But it's still not as bad as it can be. Our worst is still back down here. The month the boats went the wrong way. And let's take a look at how bad the shipping is going to mess us up. Well, our shipping costs and profits are not good. Right now we've got an op profit of $281 though, from just the ships. So, and we can do up to 5,000. Now we got at least one of the ships is moving, maybe two. Let's take a peek here. $792. Well, we've also got our smaller cargo vessels, our ferries, and our scrap scow, or garbage scow going. So there's an issue there too. And yes, I have thought about the possibility of building yet another piece of the yard to see if we can start doing passenger service. So things are looking up a bit. A bit. But still, we are in threat in 29 months, just over 2 years of being bankrupt. Or 29 years, I should say. And our remaining time is 30. So we may come up short and not even have a push. A push, though, would be profitable and close. And I don't see either of those happening soon. So I'm pretty certain Max Chaos is going to, as I anticipated, be a loss, but I think it's going to be a fun loss because I've been experimenting with things I haven't experimented much with: canals, shipping, and of course we've got this massive chaos that if I possibly could coordinate it better, might have turned out a lot better. You'll get a relief from my slurps here soon because we do have the joy of our pot of coffee running out, and I'm not going beyond 2. I might do 3. If I do 3, I'm going to do a setup binge where I'm going to go into the potential new game for some Simutrans and do the city names. I haven't decided yet. I am kind of up in the air, and I might run a poll before I actually do it and see should I do world capitals as names for the cities with, you know, special mountains named or parklands named. Should I just go with a certain locality? Go into a map and pull a bunch of names that are kind of in the right spots. One I often think about is going to Kansas because of that wonderful city called Centralia, and then making that to be your central point, and then going into Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri for various cities of certain size, and using those as our towns and cities. Well, I do see that I can speed up a line and maybe get a little bit better financials off of it. And that's the line I'm thinking about right there. Because just doing that sped up the return stroke. Now it just comes down to how fast and how good hole in the ground's production levels are. And we've got the wrong bus on that in all likelihood, but I just don't see putting a highway down or anything like that. I'm to the point of infrastructure needs to be as limited as possible financial reasons. I don't mind like little fixes like that one there where we had a spot we missed on the speed up the line and things like that. And as we get going, we're going to take a peek around. I'm just trying to peek a little bit more and be a little bit more gentler on my moves. Looking at the Birch Tree Farm, that's another spot where maybe we should check and see. Nope, he's still just serving the one spot. And he does, I believe, have a faster train on him. Let's take a peek. Yeah, he could do 90, so we could speed that train up and get a little bit faster service, which would get us back that 2% loss we've been taking. So let's set him up, get him so that it goes into the first level. I don't care about slowing down inside the stations, as we know. And then speeding up both sections here in our one dual line section of track I have allowed up until now. And that was a major breaking of the rules. that's a dispatch line. Why did I do that? I don't know. That's our actual line right there, going over to the mill yard. And we've got the speed on the one to the mill yard. I think I just lined up onto the wrong set of track. Yeah, I did. I lined up onto the wrong set of track. But that'll let us put a faster train on there and get back those 2% bonuses we're losing. Because we're losing 2% every mile, or kilometer, I should say, underneath the speed. So that does tend to eat in very quickly. I mean, not a wise way to take and run our game. We did wind up speeding up a scrapper line. Nah, we're gonna slow him back down. The scrapper lines don't really care, and despite our initial statement that we were going to leave all scraps and screw up rails, we will begin correcting them because, frankly, we cannot afford not to. Now, at the same time, this stretch with that SD on there over here could probably use a little bit of TLC. There we go. And it's time to start doing a spot by spot look at our various factories. Now, factories we are kind of limited on how we can search. So what I'm going to do first is timber. And any of the ones that are red are carrying too much stuff. At the station, or is not being served properly. So let's take a peek here. He's producing 118 of the 122 he can produce at the moment. Does not get any production bonuses, so it doesn't matter. We could take and make a little bit more money if we can take and get an electric line in there. But there's not one really handy that's a short little run, so I'm not worried about the timber yards yet. Over here we could take and sell another 60 again, 63 this one, and that's not that bad of a run for making 63 units of electricity go into the grid, which will of course increase the grid and increase everything we're doing. And it is time to start thinking about expanding bus service at New Cross. Power outlets are for three-phase power only. Oh my goodness. Transparent bathtub illuminated with neon lamps. Stove is powered by Av Stirling motor, and paintings are projected onto the walls because the architects forbid nails in the walls. Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. Got some shops and offices, a public pool. And a modern house. Extended tunnel network underneath it. There, a scientist works on beaming. However, he is most famed and feared for his frequent power outages in his neighborhood. So we've begun to take and pick up some of our items. We're beginning to get more and more passenger and other setups, and it's time to go ahead and do one thing I hadn't done yet, to take a peek at, which is how good is my coverage. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, he's covered. Okay. So here in this community, I do have a couple of small gaps, but they're the edges. And a gap at the edge I can live with. I can also add a bus stop out there to try to promote growth, and we're going to go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and turn the houses back on, the trees back on, and station coverage off. There we go. What is the levels? Oh, it takes out factories too. Factories and public buildings. All right, that's good to know. Anytime we really need to see, so we can see our routings, make certain our actual setups are clean. Let's go ahead and drop in a bus stop. And we're going to upgrade a couple of bus stops in town, because I have a feeling that this community could use that. What's our connections here? We've got the New Cross and Crosscut Cruiser all the way down to Spring Crocs, and the new Pax Ash Looper, as well as the Monohydronucleosis monorail system, all serving this point. And yes, by raising ground, I could save long term, because each of those raised sections of monorail, cost me $400 a month versus a surface of $30 a month. So that'd be a $370 savings. That's greater than 90%, people. So yes, I am looking at going into areas where I'm on an elevated rail, but at the same time, I may not. Again, we're looking at what would that do? Would it add chaos? Right now, the look of chaos is what we're after. Almost more than anything else. Production boost. What are we getting? Passengers? We're getting 24% boost. 18% this month. 22 last month. And it is cyclic, but it is growing. Each peak, every other peak is a little bit higher. That's good to know. That is very good to know. Now, I have threatened that down the road I was going to put in a counter loop, but there's not really the space to do it. So what I was doing before with the factories is we were going to go in and open him up, see what he was doing, go to that factory, and then check departures. Departure time. Technosaw's board yard, but he's not full yet, is he? No, 94%, so he's close. Colonel Cottonwoods. And I think we can start doing this kind of a thing. He's got electricity. He doesn't have passengers. But again, doesn't get a boost from it, so we're not even going to look at the timber. We can't boost timber. The only thing I'm going to go through and make certain is that there is a train operating on each of those guys. They do use passengers, though. It's just that it's at bus levels, so we'd have to figure out a spot to bus from. And here we have that kind of spot. So folks here live in Mallowfield. Folks here live in Mallowfield. So you know what? Maybe we could do a bus. Mallowfield 340. Oh my goodness. I smell adventure coming, guys. How about you guys? Let's go to the most important part of this whole deal. Served by. And we've gotten everybody. Everybody's served. Even our parabolic trough, because it being a power plant that does not have an input, we marked it as served so we know that we are pulling power off of it. So now we need to do things that will grow cities. And what grows cities? Well, I don't really feel like spending a whole ton. So you know what? I'm going to go with a good old third world answer. And that third world answer? Roads. Dirt roads. And maybe it may not seem too smart. At the same time, we're going to encourage growth by encouraging the city to grow. And to grow in a manner that is good to us. Connect up that road for the city, because they didn't, and every once in a while they do those things. Or worse, they break a road, lay something in, when they do it, they goof it up. And then we'll do a crossroad like this. It's gravel. How's that sound? Oops. Come up here, cross like this. And hopefully this will spur some growth in our community. See if that gives pollen bee any growth potential. Another thing to look with pollen bee is its coverage. But you know what? 25 minutes, a little over. Good time to say, I'm Kelly Jack. This has been episode 52 in the Max Chaos sessions, specifically the Devil's Towers 1969 Max Chaos game. Have a better day than I'm having.